Hello all, I am working from my phone today to try to get some audio in on this clip. I noticed that there was some misconceptions with two-step equations for our work from Friday that I posted, or last week if you're hearing this for another class. And I just kind of wanted to go through kind of the issues that we were having. A lot of it seemed to be stuff with positive and negative integer rules. So we're going to go over them. I have 3 sets of problems for each thing. I will include a timestamp to where I move on to the second common misconception I was noticing. But I wanted to go ahead and record something in order to be able to help you all out. So I'm going to mark on these slides, and I am doing this from my phone, so please give me some grace there. The first kind of issue I was seeing was problems like this, where we had a positive number in the front, subtracting our variable, equaling a positive number. That was a common misconception, most missed problem. And then I also saw problems like this that were our issue, where we would have to combine 2 negative numbers. So we're going to go over those now. I'm going to do 2 with you, and then I'm going to have you pause and do one alone. And our practice today is mainly this. So I wanted to just make sure we can do this, all right? So first comes first. These sets of problems. So what I want to do first is I want to be able to read this problem out loud. So this is positive 10 minus 15b, which is the same thing as adding negative 15b, but we'll leave that, equals positive 40. So first of all of you did a great job identifying what part needed to move in the equation to the other side of the equal sign in order for you to solve for b, which would be getting rid of that 10. However, our really common misconception was to add 10 to both sides, because we saw that subtraction in the middle and we're like, oh, well, it has to be negative. But let's look at what that subtraction sign is actually affecting. Is that subtraction sign affecting our 10? No, it's affecting our 15b. That subtraction sign affects what comes after. So that's a positive 10. How do we get rid of positive 10s? Well, what does positive mean? What does it even look like? An addition sign. So how do I get rid of a positive 10? I subtract it. So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. When I subtract it, these go away, and I'm left with negative 15b equals 40 minus 10. What's 40 minus 10? 30. Good. So negative 15b equals 30. Now, what's happening to b is that it's being multiplied by negative 15. A lot of you did well with this during one-step equations and during the two-step equations, but I just want to make sure. So what we would do is divide by negative 15 on both sides. Another issue I'm seeing is still those integer rules. If I have different signs, what is my answer going to be? Negative. My numbers are not getting along if they don't have the same sign. They're fighting. They're negative to each other. If they have the same sign, they're getting along. They're going to have a positive time together. So they do not have the same sign right now. So my answer is negative. And then 30 divided by 15 is 2. So b equals negative 2 here. Let's go ahead and do the next one together. I have 30 minus 5a equals 60. So if I'm doing this problem, I have a positive 30 minus 5a, that's a negative 5a, equals positive 60. So again, I'm wanting to get rid of that 30. That does not have the variable in it. I'm looking for the variable. I want to combine all my like terms. Numbers are like terms. So I want to combine just the numbers. In order to move that 30 to the other side, I have to look at its sign and do the opposite of it. So that 30 is positive. That means I have to subtract 30 on both sides. These cancel. Sorry, y'all. So I have negative 5a equals 60 minus 30, which is 30. And again, I divide on both sides by whatever's in front of a. And in this case, it's negative 5. So a equals, what's 30 divided by 5? Yes, it is 6. And then are these the same sign or are these different signs? Remember, this is a positive 30. That's a negative 5. Do the same sign or different? They're different. So are they going to get along? No, they're not, because they're different kinds of people. So is it a positive interaction or a negative one? Negative one. So a equals negative 6. Let's go on to our third one. I want you to pause the video when I tell you to pause, and I want you to try this on your own, all right? And then we'll talk about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause your video. I know you didn't just wait for me to try to do the problem. You better pause this video and actually try. I'm going to give about 10 more seconds for the people who did not listen and pause the video. Awesome. So we're going to try this again. This is positive 5 minus 6b, or negative 6b, equals positive 35. What are we trying to get rid of from this equation? The 5 or the negative 6b? The 5, good, because 5 is the same kind of term as 35, good. So what I want to do is what? Do I want to add 5 to both sides, or do I want to subtract 5? Let's look at its sign. Is it a positive or is it a negative? It's a positive 5. We wrote positive 5. So do we want to subtract 5 or do we want to add 5? Subtract 5. Good. These cancel. What's left here is negative 6b. I'm just going to write that down. Step-by-step writing. We've told you to do this. Then we got 35 minus 5 gives us what? 30. Don't tell me this is too hard. Keep going. Now, what's being multiplied by that b? Negative 6. What's the opposite of multiplying by negative 6? Dividing by negative 6. Good. So that's what we need to do. That goes away to give me b. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. What's 30 divided by negative 6? So I know it's 5, but is it positive or negative? It's negative because they are different sides. Good. Next part. The problem that I was also seeing is that we were struggling on what to combine when we had two negatives. Y'all, if I owe somebody $5 and then we go to the store and they buy me something else for $5, do I not owe them anything anymore? No, I owe them $10 now. You know, if you bought your friend some hot Cheetos in the line the other day and then you bought another bag the next day, that they still owe you for now both of those bags of hot Cheetos. Do not get it confused. So let's go ahead and try it here. I got 15b plus 10 equals negative 20, right? So here what that would be is 15b plus 10 equals negative 20. Good. I have to get rid of that adding 10, right? Because I want 15b by itself. A lot of us were able to do that, and you would do this. You would get negative 10 on this side, and that would go away and leave you with 15b, and you would know, Miss Kirkley, what I do to one side, I have to do to the other, and you would do that, and you would subtract the 10, and then you would tell me it's 10. No, that's not true. What's negative 20 plus negative 10? Negative 30. You owed your dad $20. You owe him $10 more now. It is negative 30. You're combining the negatives together. If you see two negative signs, like we do right here, you're just combining those. Combining the numbers together and keeping that symbol. It's just like if it was positive 20 and positive 10, except now they're negative. So now I'm going to divide by 15 on both sides. B equals, what's negative 30 divided by 15? Negative 2. We talked about why it would be negative 2 in the previous ones, but this is a negative, this is a positive, so two different signs gives you a negative answer. Cool. Let's do the next one. I got 6x plus 10 equals negative 26. So let's do it. Am I getting rid of the 6x or the positive 10? The positive 10, because there's another number on the opposite side of the equal sign, and that's what I can combine, numbers with numbers. So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. I know that because it's a positive 10 here. That's going to go away and leave me with 6x equals, what's negative 26 plus negative 10? Negative 36. Come on, they're both negatives. They're both negatives, so it's just like adding positives. 6x equals negative 36. I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides. This part y'all didn't really have an issue with. Now what's negative 36 divided by 6? Negative 6. Good. Now, I'm going to have you do this one alone. You are going to pause in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. You better pause this video. I'll give you about 5 more seconds. All right, for my people who have already completed it and tried to do this on their own, let's try it again together. So I have 7y plus 7 equals negative 35. Am I trying to move that negative 7, or I'm trying to move 7y over to the other side, or am I trying to move that 7 over? That's 7 because it's just another number, and numbers can go with numbers. So how do I get rid of an adding 7? I subtract 7. Good. So I have 7y equals, what's negative 35 plus negative 7? Negative 42. You see how this pattern kind of continues? Just adding those two and then throwing on the sign at the end if they have the same symbol. So with that being said, we got 7y equals negative 42. I'm going to divide by 7 on both sides. Y equals, what's negative 42 divided by positive 7? Negative 7. It's negative 6. Boop. It's negative 6 because 42 divided by 7 is 6, and then they have different signs. This is a negative, this is a positive. So then they produce a negative. So again, please be sure that we are doing well with our negative and positive integer rules. I think that's where we were the most confused. If you have any other questions, please reach out and let me know. I'll do my best to answer them from afar. Wash your hands. Bye.